So we're back in Amphibia, and what a good episode. I really enjoyed this one. It's called Turning Point because it's the turning point for Sasha where she is going to start being a better person. She actually goes through all the steps of repentance. And that's really cool. I do like how they didn't skip on any of the steps. A lot of other shows like to rush the redemption, but Sasha went through every phase of it, even though it happened all in one episode, one half of an episode, but it shows you all the different steps it takes to start, to ask for redemption and to fulfill it, to redeem yourself. And that's really, really cool. I really like that for Sasha. I've been a big Sasha hater all the way up to this point because she only started fighting Andros because he was worse than she was. That was like the only reason. But in this episode, it shows that she actually has deeper meanings, deeper reasons for trying to be a good person, which is really super cool. So we start out in the episode, and we've been following Anne on Earth and her little fun adventures that really aren't adding up to much. So we get back to Amphibia. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, the king is a freaking psychopath, and he's on the war path, and he's doing all kinds of crazy things. And this is way more, I was serious than what's happening on Earth right now. So we're a few days before that. Get basically the other side of the finale. We see Sasha. She sees Marcy get stabbed. It should have killed her. They do their best to only let that linger for mere seconds before it's like, oh, get her to a refrigeration chamber. Blame. But she sees Anne go through the portal. And then she's like, oh, dang, we're not going to be able to fight this guy on our own. Grimes is good, but there's no way they're going to be able to take on the king and all these little robots and everything. So Grimes is like, I got an idea, just throws her out the window. They're going to just like fall. Thank goodness Marcy's Robin came by and picked him up. And that's really cool that he was still flying around and being helpful. He sends his robots to follow them. Where are they going to go? I mean, even I'm trying to think there's literally anywhere they go, they're going to be followed and chased. His army got captured, so they end up going to Wartwood to kind of hide out there. And they're like, oh, wow, because they know who Marcy is. You know, not a lot about who she is, but they know her enough that she's Anne's friend and everything. And they're like, what do we tell them? Do we tell them that Anne went back to Earth and all the king's going to kill everybody? So they kind of tell a half-truth, half-lie. They tell them about the king, and they say, oh, Anne sent us here to protect you guys because she's on a quest to defeat the king, and we're going to stay here to help you guys. It's kind of the truth, but not really the truth. So they're like, there's no way they're going to accept us. But the people of Wartwood are super awesome that way, where they just like trust people. Like, oh, if Anne said so, then we're going to trust Anne's word. And she feels bad about it for lying, especially about Anne and how much they respect Anne in this town. They're going to just go sleep at the planner's place. And of course, it's funny because you see how the two characters are taking this situation. Grimes is just like, whatever, we're going to hang out here for a day or two, then we're going to take off. Who cares? And then Sasha is actually truly feeling bad, which is the first step to redemption. The first step of repentance is recognizing the wrong thing you did and feeling bad. And you feel it in your heart. It hurts you. It makes you feel like trash. You realize that you hurt people and you did terrible things. That's the first step. Grimes like, whatever, you want to sleep in the barn, that's your business. Which I think is kind of funny that he just does not care. And he lets Sasha just work out her own problems. She's going to go sleep in the barn with Betsy and mini Betsy. Cartoons always portray hay as like the coolest thing to lay down on. It is not. Anyone who's actually jumped on a pile of hay, it's like jumping on a bunch of hard, nasty grass. It is not soft. It is not comfortable. It's really itchy and it can cut you. It's gross. Don't believe this hay propaganda here. Next morning comes around. I like how Sasha started out in the hay, but then she ended up sleeping right next to Betsy. That's super cute. Grimes made like waffles, which is kind of funny. And they did get a knock at the door, and they kind of hear like, oh, they're being attacked. but it was just grandma making them a pie. Like, oh, you guys came all this way to protect us, and it's so kind of you to do that. And Sasha's feeling even worse because when people are showing genuine like goodness towards you, and you know you're lying to these people, old Sasha would have been cool with all of this, but she feels terrible. So it's showing that she's making that turning point. Wally shows up and he's like, oh, hey, you're a friend of Anne, you're a friend of mine. And oh, I even wrote a song about her, and like trying to be super nice to her about everything. And then everyone's just showing up and being so kind. And Sasha can't take it. It's like pissing her off because it's making her feel bad. Grimes like, whatever, we'll be here a day or two and then we'll just take off. The funny thing is they did get a letter saying that Grimes has some of the other army got away. They're hiding underground and they got reinforcements. So it's like, oh, let's just go hook up with them and then we can start this army. But they'll have to abandon the town and they're being followed. So if they abandon the town, they're going to get attacked by robots and they're not going to have any defenders. So Sasha's like, no way, we're not going to do that. Robot shows up. They start fighting it. They kick its butt, but it gave out a emergency signal for more backup. So they're like, okay, we can do one or two things. We can just leave and screw this town. It's lost. Who cares? Or we can stay and protect it. Grimes like, I'm going to go hook up with my other Toad buddies. If you want to stay around, you need to go into that house, find out what you need to do, and you need to make a decision. I like Grimes' handoff approach with Sasha because she needs to make these decisions on her own. Sasha needs to understand what it means to make a true decision with your heart, not with a scheming type of mindset. She makes her way back in the house and goes to Anne's room, and it's going to hurt because that's your friend. She sees Anne's journal, and of course, Anne, typical strong little pictures, and oh, I'm so glad we're friends again, and I knew it was a good thing to trust Sasha again. And look at this face. This is the face of someone who's like, oh man, I really effed up this time, big time. But after reading the journal, feeling bad, crying, which is another good thing to do when you feel bad, is instead of trying to bottle up all your emotions, you need to let that out. And crying is a good way to let that out. And then she goes, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing for the first time in my life. Then, see, this is part 2 of your redemption, part 2 of, repentance. You know that you're doing something wrong. You feel bad. Then you have to come clean with the bad thing you did. She gathers the whole town together. She's like, hey guys, there's going to be a robot army coming. It's going to, it's going to be dangerous. And I can't lie to you anymore. Anne did not send me. Anne is in another world. I just came here under false pretenses. Even though I've lied to you in the past, I'm going to stay and defend this town because it's the right thing to do. And I'm going to stand up for you guys and be your defender. There you go. Recognizing that you did something wrong, feeling bad, owning up to it, and then trying to be better. That is the last step of your road to redemption. You have to continue to live a good life, continue not to make the same mistakes. You're probably going to stumble. You're probably going to fall. You're going to fall back into those same things, but you have to realize it. And then sometimes you got to start the process all over again. But it looks like Sasha is finally doing things for other people, not for herself. Grimes already took off. She's going to stay behind and fight these robots. Big giant robot shows up and it's has a bunch of little robots in it. So it's shooting stuff out. She's fighting them. She's kicking their butts, but she gets overwhelmed. They tear her, they grab her, pin her to the ground, and this thing's going to shoot a giant rocket at her. Grimes shows up, saves her. Super nice. Her and Grimes make a great team. She's quick and elegant. He's big and brooding. So their skill sets match each other very well. So they're going to stay behind and fight these robots. Because Grimes even says, hey, even though my underground, they have an army, they have reinforcements, but they don't have you. I'm not going to leave my lieutenant behind. Super cool. I love it. They're a great team. I love this. Shoots out more robots. They're going to fight them, but the townsfolk jumps in too because they're no slouches. They're not a conventional army, but they can fight. So everyone in the town is fighting. Wally, the little spider guy, everyone's doing stuff, and it's super, super cool. I love that. And even they're like, dang, this townsfolk, they're actually better than my regular soldiers. Super cool. They do the classic, homing missile, make it run into the guy who shot it. They beat the big giant robot, and then Sasha is, look how accepted she is. Look how happy she is, doing something good, fighting for people, and doing it's for the right reasons. She's not fighting for these people for glory. She's not fighting for these people so she can stab them in the back and take over. They can treat her like a goddess. No, she's doing it because it's the right thing to do. And they're even like, it's what Anne would have done too. Super cool. I love that. She needs to be more like Anne when it comes to selflessness and helping others. So yeah, Sasha is on her road to redemption. She took the first positive real steps of becoming that greater person, which is super cool. I've been a big hater of her in the past. I'm just glad that she was able to finally make those steps to becoming that better person that she can be. Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.